The majesty of your psychic intellect and made you my puppet.
It's a bullseye! And here's your host, Jim Boyd!
Perhaps today is a good day to die. Prepare for running speed!
Sir, there's another starship coming in. It's the Enterprise.
Bone, your shoulder bone connected to your neck bone, your neck bone connected to your head bone. Now hear the word of the Lord. Them bones gonna walk around.
Take a base of action. Green group, skip across the holding sector of each other.
Admiral, we have enemy ships in Sector 47.
It's a trap.
.007 Triple X. Bond, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British end up, sir.
Nobody does.
Sorry if I scared you. You'll like this bit.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed, you will like this bit. The great Tom Bacon tells us that. So that indeed is what you'll like. My Sunday show is always the same now. I start by going, oh God, I'm tired. I am tired, right? I am tired. I stay up late to do the Dan show on Saturday night, and I really like doing that show, right? That I finally convinced myself to like just leave when I'm falling asleep and watch that show. You'll always see me like I always like nod off, right? And that's that's when it's time to go to bed. But man, I know. Look, in Israel, Sunday's like Monday, so there's a bit of Monday morning blues going on there. Oh, well, wait a minute. The sweet kiss of coffee. I forgot. Oh, I just made myself a fresh coffee. I'm very excited, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited. We have a lot to talk about. I'm not sure I'm going to go. How long I'm going to go tonight? Okay, I'll tell you exactly how long I'm going to go as short as humanly possible. But I've got too much stuff I want to get to. We've got to talk about Blake 7. I'm behind on that. I can't even remember what episode I'm up to. Right? So we got to do the Blake 7 review. I want to review Silver Nemesis. Man, that really slugged up my review of season 25 because I'm not a fan of Silver Nemesis, right? I'm really not. That was a bit like pushing a boulder uphill. Plus all the stuff they did for Silver Nemesis, like the back in the day, the video release with the bad recut of it and the American documentary. It's all shit. Okay, honestly, you're never gonna watch any. I mean, I'm not gonna watch any of that again. Oh, so we got to talk about Section 31. That trailer came out. No. I think my thumbnail was quite accurate for that, right? So we got to talk about Section 31. We got to talk about all the the Christmas time. Creature Commandos. I mean, there's just a lot to get to, right? There's a lot to get. Creature Commandos gets my full-throated recommendation. There's one bit of, I wouldn't even call it wokery, right? I wouldn't call it wokery, but leftist delusion, right? I would say is that, but that doesn't make it a deal breaker for me because honestly, it was a very enjoyable half hour of TV. Well, 22 minutes of TV, right? I had a lot of fun. I think by the time this 8-part series is over, so it's 22 minutes times 8, 22, 44, 66, 88, 161, 176. Okay, so that's like a nice chunk. That's longer than I thought, right? That's like a movie length thing, and I would certainly go back and watch it, right? I would certainly go back and watch it. It fits exactly into the wheelhouse of the James Gunn stuff. And and we got Syria like imploding like right next to me. which was a bit of a shock. Let me tell you, I did not see that one coming. Netanyahu's very happy because they're like, Israel's like just capturing lots of territory now, like because Syria just collapsed. I just saw Anna de Armas at the corner of my eye, not literally her name. Did you hear about the Anna de Armas controversy, Sister? No. Fill us in, and we'll get to it when we get to the chat. Right? I'm into. What's the controversy? Is how is she so hot? She's very sexual. She's very, very hot. Anyway, what we have to start with? Just going through the things over here. Section 31. I might get to that before the chat. It's just such a waste of resources, right? It's such an insane waste of resources, right? For no reason that I could really, that I could really see. like, I just don't like why. Like I can understand Discovery more than I can understand Section 31. Because like Discovery, okay, you have this imagined audience of like maladjusted weirdos that might like it, right? Right. I mean, again, it's no audience of like, normal human beings. Like nobody would really like it, but at least that Section 31 seems to be appealing to, trying to be like appeal to the normie audience a little bit. It's weird. Like I don't know why. I don't know why they think anybody's going to watch it. Right. I really don't. But I think the ratings BBC is going to get on Christmas Day are going to be very, very strong. Right, they actually got. I mean, that Wallace and Gromit. That's a. Let's pull up that schedule for a second. Let's see if I can find it. 1 second. I'm doing this over there. It's the first time I can remember there's been a strong lineup for. Was it Christmas Day? How was it? Christmas Day Telly 2024. Let's see if we have a. 1 second. Let's have a look at BBC Radio Times. Now, that's what to watch. Is this it? Let's have a look. I think. Oh, here we go. Let me share screen. Is that the Section 31 thing? Just like, why? It really genuinely confuses me, right? It's weird this year. I'm going to have my Christmas dinner on like the 28th, right? I always have it on Sabbath. What day we're up to? This is the 22nd. I see they're burning down the Queen Vic. Is that the second or third time? I can't remember. 24. What's on Christmas Eve? Strike the Ink Black Heart. I've never heard of it. Repair Shop at Christmas. I think Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's actually a pretty darn good movie, right? Weakest Link. Stacey Solomon's Cry. I know. When's the Mark Gatiss thing? All right, Woman of Stone. That I'm looking forward to. Mortimer Whithouse gone Christmas fishing. That's an interesting combination, right? That is an interesting combination. Fine, but let's look at their lineup. It's really good. You got Strictly Come Dancing. But first you got the King. Then you got the. I think they basically got people that you got it lined up so people will watch non-stop. You got the King at 3:00. Weakest Link Christmas special. Then people are having lunch then, I guess, or just finishing lunch. Strictly Come Dancing Christmas. People love that. Doctor Who, sandwich in the middle. Wallace and Gromit is going to do Call the Midwife. Gavin and Stacey. EastEnders. I mean, really, it's a very strong lineup for the BBC. I can't remember the last time they had a lineup that good. So I'm really quite impressed. Right? What they got for New Year's? Man, Christian was such a twat. The movie doing the holiday one on New Year's. I mean, honestly, what a twat. New Year's Eve. What we got here? Jules Holland's still doing Hootenanny. They're repeating Mortimer White House Go Fishing. Looks like there's nothing on at all there on BBC Two. Jesus Christ Superstar, 9 a.m. best thing on that day. Really is. Railway children. Oh, now you're talking. Which is now you're not. Would I lie to you? Stenders, Black Panther. Graham Newton's New Year's Eve show. Graham Newton just kind of gets on my tits now. Although, look, everything's changing. Like, everything is really turning around. It's so bizarre. Like, so Trump's being interviewed. He had his first, like, post-election interview with the NBC, who will traditionally hate Trump, right? Can't stand him. Think he's the epitome of pure evil, right? Now they treat him like a normal human being. This is not how it was back in 2016, right? Again, I just feel they've been completely defeated. So yeah, this look, he says stuff that we all knew he was going to say, but I love hearing like the seismic meltdown, right? That comes with it. It's so funny. So here, we'll start over there.
I have to tell you this because you've talked about it. It comes at a time when the country is deeply divided.
Yeah, it's because, you know, you just spent the last 10 years saying this man's Hitler. Super duper Hitler. Anybody who likes him must be evil. And the other guy on the other side was useless in every way. And you've lied. You in the media have lied and lied and lied and lied and divided the country. Yeah.
And now you're going to be leading this country for the next 4 years. For the sake of unifying this country, will you concede the 2020 election and turn the page on?
No. I mean, like, why is it so important to you that he conceded? Like, why is it so important to you that I concede it? I mean, I don't think it was won fairly. Right? I think there was a lot of shenanigans going on. Right? I do not think it was won fairly. And I think you would have to be insane or completely disingenuous to think anything other. Right? Obviously, I mean, like, duh. Nobody's seen, like, you know, the votes come in and sort of go, doink! Right? Like, nobody's seen that before. It's clearly cheating. And if you don't think it's cheating, then you're, insane or have some kind of retardation going on. But it's so important to them that he says, no, it's all fair. It wasn't.
That chapter.
No. No. Why would I do that? But let me just tell you, when you say the country is deeply divided, I'm not the president. Joe Biden's the president.
But you're going to be the president.
No. I'm not the president. So when you say it's deeply divided, I agree. But Biden's the president. I'm not. And he has been a divider. And you know where he divided it more than
everything they've said has been the opposite of truth, right? Yes, he has been the divider.
Anything else, and it probably backfired on him. I think definitely is weaponization. When he weaponized the Justice Department and he went after his political opponent, me, he went after his political opponent violently because he knew he couldn't beat him. And I think it really was a bad thing. And it really...
You know, honestly, I think they would have done better against Trump had they not done that. But they were desperate to get him out. Right? Them not to win.
Divided our country.
Sir, Democrats have control of the White House now. They didn't in 2020. If they are going around stealing elections, why
when you
didn't
say
they
Democrats have control now?
Of the White House.
Yeah.
So why didn't they steal this election? Since they have more power now.
Because I think it was too big to rig.
I agree, right? I think he probably won by a lot more. I really, yes. I think it was too big to rig. By the way, it's looking good for Farage right now. He's number one in the polls, right? Man, you got like 4.5 years of this nightmare to go. I just got to hope there's going to be some Deus Ex Machina that will cause this government to fall, right? I no idea what it is or what it could be. But yeah, Assad just fell, so Keir Starmer can as well.
So you won't...
Too big to rig.
To the people who say that... You're now directing your Justice Department to investigate 2020, and they want to move on.
Very capable. I think Pam is going to be great.
Precious resources.
By the way,
is that what you want them to do?
Just so you know, I have the right to do that, but I'm not interested in that.
Oh, you're not. You're not going to do that.
I'm not interested. Okay. I have the absolute right. I'm the chief law enforcement officer. You do know that. I'm the president. But I'm not interested in that. You know what I'm interested in? Drilling and getting prices down and stopping people from pouring into our border that come from prisons and mental institutions.
Yeah, there's just this begrudging respect they have to talk to him with now. And that makes all the difference, right? It really makes all the difference, which is they should have done 2016 would have been much, much better. J6 is awesome. Check this out.
We're going to look at individual cases, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm going to be acting very quickly.
within your first...
He's talking about releasing the J6 prisoners, political prisoners.
100 days, first day?
First day.
First day.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God for that. I hope. Oh man, that is going to be. Can you imagine the celebrations when you see the people who got like 20 years for nothing? Oh,
I'm looking for
issue these pardons.
These people have been there. How long is it? 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
You know, by the way, they've been in there for years.
There's a guy still being held without charge or trial because he won't say Trump instigated the violence.
And they're in a filthy, disgusting place that shouldn't even be allowed to be open.
I hope he has them all to the White House, right? I hope they have them all to the White House. Does look good for the establishment.
Fire the current FBI director, Christopher Wray, who you appointed.
Well, I can't.
What do you think? Who you appointed? Again, I like this. She's got those crazy eyes going there. Look at her. Wow, I wish I could see her eyes more clearly, but she's only has crazy eyes going on. I love this. Trump appointed. Yeah, look, if someone's a deep state piece of shit, I mean, there's still a deep state piece of shit.
I can't say I'm thrilled with him. He invaded my home. I'm suing the country over it. He invaded Mar-a-Lago.
That's weird. Wait a minute. Is the what? How happens that the president sues the United States while he's a sitting president?
I'm very unhappy with the things he's done, and crime is at an all-time high. Migrants are pouring into the country that are from prisons and from mental institutions, as we've discussed. I can't say I'm thrilled. I don't want to be Joe Biden and give you an answer and then do the exact opposite.
We're going to talk about
so
that,
I'm not going to do that.
I think this is his go-to thing. Why would I tell you my plans? Right? That just hurts me. How did that back of that seat stay up? I don't see anything holding it up. That's really bizarre. Okay.
What I'm going to say is I certainly cannot be happy with him. You take a look at what's happened. And then when I was shot in the ear, he said, oh, maybe it was shrapnel. Where's the shrapnel coming from? Is it coming from heaven? I don't think so. So we need somebody to straighten. You know, I have a lot of respect for the FBI. But the FBI's respect has gone way down over the last number of years.
Yes, it has, because of people like Christopher Wray.
Do you have to fire him in order to make room for Kash Patel if he is, in fact, confirmed?
Well, I mean, it would sort of seem pretty obvious that if Kash gets in, he's going to be taking somebody's place, right? And somebody is the man that you're talking about.
Right. I mean, like, duh. What else we got? Oh, yeah, this is my favorite bits.
Subsidizing Canada to the tune of over $100 billion a year. We're subsidizing Mexico.
I had no idea. Like, if they have that sort of subsidies going on for Canada and for Mexico, they have to do whatever they're told, I think.
For almost $300 billion. We shouldn't be subsidizing. Why are we subsidizing these countries? If we're going to subsidize them, let them become a state. We're subsidizing Mexico, and we're subsidizing Canada, and we're subsidizing many countries all over the world.
Yeah, look, you can screw everybody else up, but yeah, stick with Israel, mate. I think he will, right? Now, this whole turnaround really happened at the beginning of the weekend, which I was really nervous about when he went to France for the Notre Dame Cathedral reopening, and again, all the people who sneered at him are now lining up to kiss his ass, and that is really hilarious. By the way, I like how he always has his hand. His hand is higher, right? And Macron, he's just like his government's just imploded. I mean, like, Trump is just like, compared to these pussies, Trump is just an alpha male, right? And I even quite like this where he met with was it Prince? What's he called again? Is it William? Yeah, William. It's so bizarre. Like, if I could go back in time and show myself these from 6 months, go back in like 6 months and show myself this, I'll be like, what? Why are they treating him with so much respect and deference? Well, I have to tell you, I think it's way time for Charles to abdicate, right? I really genuinely do. And look, I'm a big royalist, but man, is he a WEF stooge right along with Keir Starmer? Ugh. And Sadiq Khan's getting a knighthood. Oh, God, how disgusting.
He's a good man, this one.
And he must be tall, William. He's taller than Trump, and Trump's massive. I mean, man, look, if we can get Labour out, then Charles abdicates, and we have coronation. I would love to see reality invert that way.
He's doing a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
He said, "Oh yes, the future king doing a fantastic job. What's he doing? Just a job." Now, was it at Notre Dame? There was a moment of tension, right? And it was caught on video, but they deleted it pretty soon there afterwards, where Trump and Jill Biden eyes met, right? And it was daggers. Like, look at this. I mean, you have to look subtly. Right, you have to look really closely. I might have to in slow motion or free frame, right? But it's incredible. Just pay attention. See if you can spot the animosity. AI is out of control. AI is out of control. Oh yes, this is why we have intensely sophisticated computers, so we could do silly things like that, right? Silly things like that. Should we do the chat first, or should we do section 31? Let's do the chat first. Right, let's go to the chat. Let me pull up some mic handy. Share screen. Where is the? Okay. By the way, it's ready to come out, baby. We're nearly there. Just wait. It's too early. Well, I'm so excited for it, though. Now I'll have a bit of Christmas. Have a cracking Christmas at the Rabbi's. Yes, ScarJo. Finally, she shed that feminism, right? Most logical. If you're going to do Star Trek, that's nothing like Star Trek. And that is what the section 31 thing is like. It's nothing like Star Trek at all, right? Now, it's really weird, though. Juxtapose that to Picard. And I love the underworld stuff they did with, like, the mafia boss Vulcan. That was great. And I like the actor who played him. And I like the gangster rapper Ferengi. I thought that was great, right? So that felt like real Star Trek to me, right? If you're going to do Star Trek, there's nothing like Star Trek, then why not do the ScarJo Bonfire Hour? Oh, what an hour that would be. What an incredible... It would melt my TV. Yes, indeed. Blake 7, still one of the best things on my telly. It really is. It's just so good. The Deep Thoughts of Stephen Moffat. Good for you. What else? I've got a couple of fun things here. I think I saw that on Father Miller's XP. That's brilliant. I really do enjoy that. That makes me laugh every time I look at it, right? What's this? Dear trans community, don't tell me I have to accept you for who you are when you couldn't accept yourself for who you were. And that's why there's all the screaming, right? That's why there's all the damn screaming, because they don't really believe that they're girls with their penises, right? They just don't believe. They want to believe it. I think a lot of it's kink, baby. Man, that Ponthar special looks awfully good, right? I have to tell you, looks awfully good. Fine, let's go. So Darren Evans here, hit that like and rumble button. Yes, rumble it, baby. You know you want to. Darren M also says green facilitation. Connor Archer says second. Now he says second, but without an abbreviation. What is the Anadam? It's a controversy. I hope you tell me all, right? As we go on. I thought Section 51 was supposed to be a secret organization. Why would they advertise? Do they? I can't remember, right? I can't remember. I honestly, here, let me see if I can find. You know what's most analogous to? Trek Renegades, right? See if I can find the trailer to that. Which seems... no, I can find the full episode. Oh, here we go. That's the trailer. A second. Star Trek Renegades official trailer with the water coning and more Star Trek. So we would juxtapose because it seems very similar to that, right? It does seem very similar to that. PD Rich is here. How you doing, PD Rich? Oh, PD, I'm sorry. We're going to see some more obscene bastardization of Star Trek. I know how close Star Trek is to your heart. What can we do? What can we do? He'll be depointed soon. I don't know what we're talking about. Maybe something can't. TARDIS Travels in. How you doing, TARDIS Travels? Thank you for joining us. And we got, well, it won't be Ari Windsor and the WAG. I don't know who that is. It's a shame if you're offline overshadowed because Father Miller's doing off. I would love to go on that. His afternoon stretch. I would love to do that, right? Avert your eyes. There's no averting your eyes for this, baby. Fine. Now I've got to look up what the Ana de Armas controversy is. That's Ana de Armas controversy. Oh, okay, it comes right up. Let's see what it is. Ana is facing growing controversy after an on-site confrontation with a Cuban journalist regarding her boyfriend's ties to the Cuban regime. Fine. Let's look at this story. I mean, like, I'm begrudged to be mad at her about anything because, like, she's attractive and she likes being attractive, right? It's like, you know, she likes being feminine and sexy. You see that so rarely nowadays, right? So, Cuban bullet. Ana de Armas insults Cuban journalist who, over a boyfriend's ties to the Cuban leader Diaz-Canel, amid growing backlash. What's going on? What's that? That graphic looks pretty darn cool. Ana de Armas facing growing backlash after the on-site confrontation with Cuban journalists regarding her boyfriend's ties to the Cuban regime. The Cuban actress currently dating Manuel Angel Custo, the stepson of the advisor of the Cuban president, Miguel Diaz-Canel, was dining at Madrid's exclusive Bibo restaurant where tensions flared. Right? Okay. The evening took a dramatic turn when the journalist from ADN Cuba outlet began questioning Anidio about the Cuban government policies, including the accusation of political repression and the growing food crisis. Well, it's been like that since the 60s, hasn't it? Anidio reportedly stayed calm, thanking the journalists without engaging in a heated discussion. However, the situation escalated when journalists allegedly commented on the couple's lavish dinner, sarcastically noting that the disparity in the lifestyles. The guy sounds like a bit of a jerk-off to me. And again, I know it's just I really like Ana de Armas, right? The guy does sound like he's a bit of a jerk-off, so I know what to tell you. But that is the Ana de Armas controversy, apparently. There you go. There you go. Far more controversial is how is this Star Trek being made, right? How's this? Well, let's have a look. Rhino is here doing Rhino. Dad is here. Dad, I was just moaning and complaining that I always love it. He's a responsible Ana de Armas. Well, I can't quite agree. I was just complaining on Sunday. My Sunday chat, I'm always dead tired because I come on yours. But I like yours too much, right? I really enjoy going on your channel. So there you go. He's a cross on his back. Fine. Speaking of crosses, we need to bear. Right? There's a new Star Trek coming out, and again, this one seems weirder to me than Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Wouldn't it be weird if that show's good, Starfleet Academy? I mean, like, wouldn't that not be Bizarroville? Because, like, it seemed to be the continuation to Discovery, but man, it's got a good cast. It's got a really strong cast. So I don't know what to tell you, although this is a pretty good cast. So let's look at this trailer for Section 51. Oy vey.
There's a customer hoping for a word.
Okay. I'm annoyed by this initially because wasn't there just one guy left with his face black and white? right? Which is probably one of the greatest episodes about racism ever. Wasn't there just one guy left and the whole planet was destroyed? I know. It's my question is this really not Star Trek though, right? But here, let's throw this up as a comparison, which is I think most people really, really loved, right? Star Trek Renegades. Now this is from about 10 years ago. And you can watch it on YouTube. The only drawback is when they're on the bridge, you can tell it's in the size of a broom closet, right? It's tiny. Oh, now I understand. They ripped off Renegades. Oh, okay. Now it all makes sense.
Beyond this place of wrath and tears, looms but the horror of the shade.
See, this is like kind of exciting new look on, new look at Star Trek.
I'll lead them away. You stay here.
I mean, I always thought Firefly would be much better if it was Star Trek Firefly, right? And you had that premise in the Star Trek universe.
Don't leave me!
I have to, or they'll get you too.
There may be evidence that she is still alive.
Now, I have to tell you, I was never a massive fan of Voyager. I love seeing Tim Russ as Tuvok, right? I love seeing him in Picard. I love seeing Tuvok again. I mean, it's just Tuvok's very angry about ripping off the Renegades. Says PD Rich.
Tell me.
Do this mission, and I will.
I directed it. I forgot about that, right? But there's been a bunch of episodes, I believe.
I'm worried about you, Poppy. You should have retired years ago.
I'm only 143.
He becomes the president of Earth at some point. Oh man, they got Robert Pardo in this as well as a medical. Please say the nature of the medical emergency. Right? Okay.
With all the new medical advances, I'll be around when you become captain.
The Federation made a grave mistake in interfering. We will not be stopped by you. We will not be stopped by anyone.
I mean, I get the feeling this is way better, right? This is way better than Section 31. This looks like might be quite fun.
The Council refuses to act. He is destroying planets, and yet they do nothing.
We can't trust him.
Our salvation may rest with rogues and outcasts.
Alexa.
Is he dead, Walter Koenig? I can't remember. He was pretty close to it, but I think he is.
Sing. You're supposed to be serving out a life sentence in an Orion prison.
A recognized leader of a whole world, and we just stroll in and assassinate him.
How did they do this as a fan film? And they fucked up everything, right, in the official canon.
Fleet's prime directive won't let them interfere, so they have to find someone else.
Spirit without discipline can have deadly consequences.
This is his stronghold.
Okay, I'm just convinced myself to watch this. So screw Section 31. This is what you got to compare it to.
Fortified.
That won't bother me.
So isn't that the guy from Voyager who was one of the Borg they rescued? And then they killed him on Star Trek Picard Season 2. Renegades 2 had to strip the Star Trek out. I believe they did. That I remember.
That won't bother me.
Be careful. One tragedy is enough. Make no mistake. You will be hunted.
That's the way we like it.
Chase me.
I will bring the Federation to their knees.
We could be in trouble.
We're already in trouble.
Let's give them hell. Return fire.
Okay, I'm excited. I want to see that. Okay, this looks great.
Be careful, Paul. This could get out of hand.
Oh, isn't he in a different Star Trek? I can't remember. No.
Very easily.
Yeah, as PD Rich said, they had to strip out the Star Trek, right? From within. Fine. So that looks pretty darn good. Let's go back to this again.
Bring him.
Okay. Frankly, I like the design of that space station. I think that looks very, very cool.
There's a customer hoping for a word with you.
Bring him.
I mean, it's really dependent on liking Michelle Yeoh as well, which I didn't mind her in that James Bond movie, right? And then it was about the same time as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which I didn't really like.
What are you doing in my space station?
I'm giving you a chance to get back in on the action on a galactic scale.
What a cute idea.
She's really not good, is she? That's the thing. I just don't believe her at all. She's really not good. I do like that design on that space station, though.
The only way this works is if I know exactly what I'm dealing with.
We're facing a threat unlike anything Starfleet's ever seen.
Billions of lives are at stake. Gather your people. We're gonna need every one of them.
It looks very similar to Renegade, doesn't it? It really does.
31 is a Black Ops division. Spy work.
That smiling, is that a Vulcan or a Romulan? Right? You got to, if that's a Romulan, why do they have a bit of a bumpy, next gen forehead? It looks like it's a Vulcan, but okay. Well, let's see.
31 is a Black Ops division.
Now, and is that what a Delta? The chick from Star Trek 1, who everyone was like, Persis Kuda, whatever. Who, when she came on the bridge, they give off these pheromones, right? That makes you super horny, right? What's it name? Delta.
Vision. Spy work.
It's just a place for people to bend the rules.
Starfleet is here to make sure no one commits murder.
Wait a minute. Is that Monica Baccarin? Here, okay, 1 second. Let's have a look at the cast list. Star Trek section 31. That does look like Monica. Is it Monica Baccarin from Firefly and a bunch of other things? If I'm looking at the cast list now, Michelle. I'm not seeing her name. Michelle Yeoh, Amari Hardwick, Casey Royal, Sam Richardson, Sven Rygov, Robert Kaczynski. I don't know. Okay, fine. So it's not telling me, who that is. Probably just a bit character.
Whatever you believed your mission was, is worse than you thought.
I mean, this would work. Again, I've said this so many times. I said this about She-Hulk. I said this so many times. If you had a working MCU or a working Star Trek universe, this will be a interesting little, view from a different direction. Star Trek is the only Star Trek that I've accepted in my head for several decades now. You should check out Star Trek Picard Season 3, right? That was perfect, I would say. And I liked Strange New Worlds Season 1. That was really, 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 really good. It's an 8-bit Snake Boy. Other than that, yes, avoid like the plague.
How do we stop it?
We work together and don't get dead. I'll try my hardest.
You ready? Let's get messy.
You don't answer her question.
I can't believe I'm going into this with an open mind, given that is it by Alex Kurtzman? Is he writing it? It's written by Craig Sweeney, who has done at least like a jobbing writer. I don't know. Maybe it might be good. Oh, God, I sound like a battered wife, don't I? Maybe he'll be nice this time.
Directly, she will punch you in your face. What?
You said that she was going to be doing the face punching.
I lied.
You have no idea what you've started. This is going to be bad.
Actually, it looks better than Star Trek Discovery, which is like, awful.
3, 2, 1.
We survive together.
I mean, this is really the entire Alex Kurtzman vision of Star Trek, where it's always been leading to, right? It's always been leading to Section 31. And honestly, it was a bit of a naff idea in DS9 when they came up with it, right? I have to tell you. But yeah. My author celibacy is on record, Captain. Indeed, right? Indeed. So, well, I don't know. I'm going into it over mine. Did I think that trailer was quite good? Let's look at it again, right? It is only a TV movie. That's correct. But I have to say, I thought the trailer for Joy to the World they put out recently, I thought that was a good trailer as well. Right, I'm looking at this from the view of a normie, right? And let's see what happens. Okay, normies are out already. The minute they see that, they're out. They're like, oh, space, don't care, it's weird. And those shoes look really bad, don't they?
There's a customer hoping for a
Yeah,
work.
there's nobody buying this. I mean, like, people might watch it if it's on. But, like, really? Star Trek 3 and Season 1, Season 1. Whereas next week, no, just not good enough after all the prior damage. I see. I watched Picard in its own bubble, as its own thing. It's honestly the best Star Trek I've seen since. Whoa, that's a long time now. Well, at least since Enterprise. Better than the JJ movie by a long way. The first one, which most people liked. Better than it was better than Insurrect. No, was it First Contact? Genuinely, it was better than First Contact, which is, I think, one of the pinnacles of Star Trek. Listen, it's up to you, mate. Whatever you want to do. Strange New Worlds is a much more acquired taste, because that's much more of a different take on Star Trek, which is I don't mind that, really. But honestly, there's so much love of Star Trek in Picard season 3, right? There's this one scene at the end where the Enterprise swoops. They bring back the Enterprise D, and it's glorious. Oh God, it's so good when they bring back the Enterprise D, and they have and they basically reset Star Trek so they can all be old now, and it's fine, right? And they will introduce new characters. If only they did Star Trek, was it Legacy? That was supposed to be the sequel series to it. It would have been really good, but they snapped up Terry Metalis for the Vision series, and that's why I'm going to watch it, right? That's why I'm going to watch the Vision series, because it looks pretty darn good, right? I am very much on board. So I'm going to say that trailer doesn't look awful, right? That trailer doesn't look awful. I just don't see how on earth. Like, who's going to watch that, right? Peter Rich says it's how Kurtzman cheated the extension on his contract and pissed off Abrams, who wants him gone. Why? It's like Data M doesn't strike me as the bastion of quality, right? Like, I don't know. Look, it looks like I think I would probably prefer watching Renegades, right? That's where I am with that. So next thing, this is a good catch-up episode, right? Let's talk about what we're going to do next. Let's talk about Creature Commandos. Right? We'll talk about that briefly, because there's not really much to talk about. A second. So I'll show you the first thing, which I thought was nice. This is the first entry into the revamped DC universe, right? The DCU, and all eyes are on it. Essentially, this is the beginning of the James Gunn vision, and to me, it seems more like it's a very natural continuation of the James Gunn, DC universe. Now, people complain that they said, the Suicide Squad is way too similar to Guardians of the Galaxy. It is and it isn't, right? It is and it isn't. I thought Peacemaker was excellent. If you haven't seen that, that's fantastic, right? That's just fun and silly, which is what I think this as well. So the basic premise of this is Suicide Squad. It's Suicide Squad once again, right? Suicide Squad, and I think now there's been some government ruling, and they can't use human beings in as a task force, right? That's allowed. So instead they found a loophole by finding non-humans, so which is essentially monsters. So it's a lot of fun. It has a lot of kinetic energy to it. I found it really, 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 really enjoyable. Great cast, and I thought the animation was really, really good, right? How does this relate to the wider DC universe? I don't know, because we're going in as like the underside of it. So the only reason, by the way, that I think Peacemaker doesn't fit into the current James Gunn universe is because it ends up with a cameo from the Zack Snyder Justice League or bits of it, as I recall, right? But it's like somebody went to the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker, and do you remember that movie Being John Malkovich? Right, where there was a little door in the 13th and a half floor or something like that into John Malkovich's head. Like it was very bizarre, right? So the same thing with this. There's a little like door somewhere hidden in Peacemaker into this new DC universe. So, but first thing I want to show you, which I think this bodes well, by the way, like the logo, right? So that's very traditional Superman, very early Superman. And then the bullet logo is the one to go. That is classic DC. So again, I don't imagine the Superman will be like this. But who knows, right? Who knows? So, so you have Amanda Waller, still played by whoever played her in the Suicide Squad. And now this is Rick Flag Sr., which is the father of was it Flag, who was killed in Suicide Squad, and they go to some mission for somebody from Themyscira is doing is attacking this country, and the country has the mining rights were given the mining of the resources rights are given to America, right? Which is why they sent this new team in. So yeah, the only thing about that really was annoying was that is this it? So I assume this was supposed to be like Antifa, but they say it's right here. Let me see what.
Inside sources claim Cersei has promised the Sons that once the downfall of
No, this is them. They're not losers enough. Right, yeah. So this is supposed to be right-wing terrorists, but they don't exist. Antifa exists. Right? What are you going to say? The Patriot Front? That's the feds, mate.
Themyscira.
I mean, seriously, Themyscira is like the sickest place ever, and then you tell me, oh, dude, only women can live there? What? That's so sexist, bro.
Word is they have the most incredible waterfalls. I have this question.
Critical, skeptic, facts over feelings, _91. Something like that. Yeah, again, so it's taking the piss out of the right, but it's so detached from reality because there aren't idiot, brainless thugs like there are Antifa, right? On the right wing, like they're Antifa. No, it's not real. And I understand James Gunn, has his political worldview. So yeah, so she's got the new team, and it's a team of monsters. Again, great character. I like all of these characters, and apparently each episode is focusing on a different character. And the second episode I thought was better than the first because it focused on which is called The Bride. And we'll go through the opening titles. That's The Bride, voiced very well by Inara Valderrama, and she plays it differently to how she normally plays things. It's got a very Cockney London accent. The Bride. This played by Alan Tudyk, who's brilliant. He's essentially brilliant, in everything he does. I really this actually, you know what the vibe of this show is. If you've seen Doom Patrol, this Doom Patrol meets Suicide Squad essentially, and Alan Tudyk was the villain in the second season of Doom Patrol. I think maybe the first. He was excellent, really excellent in it. Weasel we saw in the Suicide Squad. And who else is there? Oh yeah, so this is a World War II robot who obsessed with finding the evil National Socialists from Germany. So this is how he goes wrong. This is kind of fun.
I thought it might come in use.
Here, what's that? Doink. GI Robot. Second, doink.
When he died in Corto Maltese, he died a hero.
That one looks like a discontinued dishwasher.
That dishwasher killed over 300 Nazis in World War II.
Yeah, so he's always looking to kill Nazis.
I would have dismantled it, but I thought it might come in use someday.
So that's the team, and I think Frankenstein also joins them, right? Is this the titles? No, that's how they're controlled. Yeah, let's just go through the titles, because the titles are actually pretty darn good. And also it sets up the tone nicely.
This is your new task force flag. Let's call it Task Force M. M for monster.
Right, and you hear the music playing up in the background. It's fun, right? It's fun.
Also known as...
Yeah, Indira Varma. She's really good in this, right? She's really, really very good in this. It's a character I like and I'm invested in. I'm only 2 episodes in. Yeah, Weasel's great. Yeah, both these people are played by Sean Gunn, I believe. G.I. Robot and Sean the Weasel. Alan Tidham, Dr. Phosphorus. Again, who cares what the powers are? And this is a character I know least about. I'll be when they have an episode about. I'll be intrigued to see what the background is. Oh yeah, they got David Harbour as Frankenstein. Oh, Frank Grillo as Rick Flair Sr. So again, it's very adult, this, right? And people, when I was on Dan's show last night, we were talking about it. And they're saying, does it need to be adult? I actually think it does. This has that. I was talking about 2008 last night. This has that like anti-authoritarian 2000 AD punk vibe going for it. Yeah. So this is the weirdest bit with James Gunn. Like, so he like literally wrote himself into it. There is so they have to go to this like European country that's this backward European country, and it's quite funny. And the princess who was wait of the country who's waiting for her mother to die so she can take complete power. Very, very sexual, very, very gratuitously sexual. For me, it was just fun, right? I just had fun watching this. Right, which is something I get very, very rarely. It's quality. I thought the animation was excellent. Right, much better. Animation was better than Invincible. Very different animal to it. But again, I found this really fun. I think it's it's not what people wanted as the initial entry into this new universe. Right, it's people wanted to see they don't want to see the underside of the DC. They want to see the top side. They want to see how they're going to handle Superman and superheroes. Which I guess we're going to get a trailer soon. I hope we're going to get a trailer. The casting, I thought, just generally speaking, been very good. Right, I thought it was excellent. Does it mean that we're going to like is a whole DCU going to be like this? I doubt it. But again, I'm finding this very, very, very enjoyable, right? Very enjoyable indeed. Peter Rich says, Ava wants to take Trek in a different, non-Kurtzman direction. That's why the Otoi are far more canonical. Well, that's interesting. Wow. Okay, if that's the case, I'm very excited. Oh, Dr. Alex, how you doing, Dr. Alex? Dr. Alex, you sent me a draft of your new work, but I haven't had a chance to read it. I wanted to read it on Sabbath, but I really didn't get a chance to read much on Sabbath. Trouble is, Sabbath goes out too bloody early this time of year, right? But I am looking forward to hearing it. Rookie Mistake says Frankenstein was the mad scientist, not I think they called him Frankenstein's monster in it. The monster's name was, I believe, called Adam. Wouldn't that be great to see a really authentic adaptation of Frankenstein which I don't. You talk about the Kenneth Branagh version, which I like a lot, actually. I think. But it didn't. That's with Robert De Niro playing the monster. It didn't start and end in the snow. I think that really sets that story up, right? Them starting and finishing in the snow, in a very reasonably disturbing way, right? Reasonably disturbing. It's now published. Wow, says Dr. Alex. Okay. Now I'm behind the times, right? Yeah. What can you do? All right, very good. So yeah, okay. So that's we're doing good. We're catching up. We did Section 31. Who's going to watch that? I don't know. I don't know why. We did Creature Commander. Fine. I feel like we're doing good. I feel like we're catching up with stuff here. Next thing I wanted to catch up on is this. Silver Nemesis, ladies and gentlemen. Silver Now, I've never enjoyed Silver Nemesis, but I've had a very I started telling this story like a million times. I don't think I've ever finished telling the story. No, it's not supposed to be Ghost Rider. It's a Dr. Frostfuss or something else. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's just supposed to be fun. Is this? I think this is Alison Pearson's cover design for it, and it's he was cracking these out a lot of the time. Okay, so I saw these Cybermen early before they had a publicity release because Stuart Evans, who of Sevens models, he had very good Cyberman models, and I was off school or something like that. I can't remember, and so I phoned up the number and said, "Is there any way I can get a one of?" They did these awesome kits, like these fat. Oh God, I've got to show you. Oh, like literally, I talk about this every time. Sevens model kits. Images. Should I put Doctor Who? I'll put Doctor Who. Doctor Who. There you go. Wait, can I make this a bit bigger? And now I don't get the Sevens. Doctor Who. No, not Steven. Sevens. And it's got an A at the end. There you go. Now, 1 second. Now I've got to find larger pictures. Okay, let me just pull these up. Oh, this is the original one. Oh, man, I remember that. Hang on. Because, again, these things were awesome. Right, these things were just awesome. They were very, very good kits here. So anyway, I phoned up the number, and I said, "Is there anywhere I can buy one locally this week? Because everything was just mail order, and it will take 2 weeks to get to you." And he said, "Here, 1 second, doing. There you go. These kits, right? I think actually with the Cyberman one I bought. So he said, you know what? I'm actually going to be in London tomorrow." Right, I'm going to be by BBC Centre because they wanted to look at the new design Cybermen with an eye of making a kit of them. And the new design Cybermen were actually pretty darn good. Their guns were really, really good. They did a bunch of these models: Ice Warriors, TV Dalek. This was the first version they did though, which was then they redesigned it, right? And when they first did these. When they got the prototype out, it looked like crap, so they did an exterminated version to help them get the license. Yeah, I mean, again, just really, really great stuff, right? 12 inches tall, she cried. Anyway, where is it? So Silvernet. So that's my connection with the new Cyberman, because he showed me the pictures of the new Cybermen because when they went to the costume fitting for it. I was just right. I went to White City Tube. I met him at, and he said, "That was really cool." I said, "Yeah, okay, fine, $20 or whatever it is," and I bought it, and I had a very good time making that kit. I have to tell you. Sadly, Silver Nemesis not that great of a story at the time, right? Not that great. It was I've often said season 25 is one of the greatest, has some of the greatest classics of Doctor Who of all time, and Silver Nemesis. So Silver just wasn't that great, right? It kind of fell apart, And then when they released it in different formats, they released it on video with adding stuff into it that was cut out, and the documentary from PBS. It was even worse, right? It was actually even worse. It just didn't work at all. So one of the tentpoles of this new Blu-ray set is the special editions, the re-edited special editions, and hats off to Pete Mateague on this one, right? Because he's managed to do a special edition of this and it's the omnibus one that really works. That really works. They cut out everything that's was just cringe, like the BBC thugs, the BBC Skinners. Oh god, that's so embarrassing. It was a lot of this show was just embarrassing, right? And I think they cut out Dolores Gray completely, right? And what you got left is something that really works for Sylvester McCoy. Not his best story, right? But it really works in that Sylvester McCoy style, which was very much New Adventures, right? I would say the archetypal New Adventure style was what's it called again? They did a Big Finish adaptation of it with the Chenolians. What's it called? Where lots of people ending up in the same place from different directions. Oh man, it's shall I look a bit? No, the Doctor Who New Adventures. I would look it up on the Big Finish website, but it always snarls up whenever you're opening up. There's ever since they tried to upgrade the website, it didn't really work. Higher Science by Gareth Roberts, right? That was in 93. That is the archetypal New Adventure where you have these weird, disparate groups of people all coming together in some kind of quest. This is that format, right? This really is that format. Now, the drawback is Kevin Clark, the writer, as he explains in the making of documentary, knows nothing about Doctor Who, knew nothing about Doctor Who. They include the Cybermen because they were silver, and it's the silver anniversary. Knew really, genuinely nothing about Doctor Who, and that's the difference between this, which has a very similar plot to Remembrance of the Daleks. Ben Aronovich clearly knew a lot more about Doctor Who. That being said, I'm going on the special edition, for movie length special edition one, where it allows that vision to come together, and it takes out all the very, very, very cringe elements, right? And you do get kind of an interesting romp. So essentially, the story is, it's kind of stupid, but you have this Gallifreyan weapon called vibranium or some kind of metal. Living metal. This was before Terminator 2, I think. So that was kind of cool. And you need a critical mass of it to become active. And it's like this planet-destroying weapon. Or universe-destroying. Oh, so it's a big deal, right? It's big. So you have and the Doctor in 25 years earlier launched it into space, or everything's in or 250 years earlier, I can't remember. Launched the main body of this metal, which has been carved into a statue of one of the villains, into space. So what the main villain is this woman called Lady Painful, who is a evil magician, right? And it is like dark magic, they're killing people to do these magic things, but it's like a magic and science in where it kind of mixes, right, where they touch it, where they kiss each other, right? And she's again in the special edition, she's a very effective villain. It's a very interesting villain, right? She's got a sidekick of this, I can't remember the name of the guy, right? But she's got a sidekick, and they end. Oh, wait, my cat's over. Hello, darling. They end up time traveling with magic into 1988, where they say it's going to this asteroid with this statue is going to come back to Earth. So that's one faction. You got the Doctors, one faction. You got Lady Painful and whoever the bloke is who's with her. faction, and then you got the Nazis, right? Who have the other. There's the statue, there's an arrow, and there's a bow, right? So the Nazis have the bow, Lady Painful has the arrow, and the statue is in space until it crashes in a very, 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 very unimpressive crash scene. Like, it's very, 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 very unimpressive crash. Even in the special edition, you could have had a bit of CGI onto that. And it's, again, at that point, it's a kind of a romp when and then you have the final fact of the Cybermen. Now, I remember at the time I thought the special effects of the Cybermen were really cool, right? Just really, really. I thought they're just the best thing ever. They're a bit dodgy now in hindsight, but they have new effects which are doesn't seem to be that much better, right, than the original one. So again, you have all these factions vying for control of the statue. Of all of them, Lady Painful is way more interesting than the Nazis, who was led by. It's got a good cast, right? One second, have a look. We go Doctor Who, Silver Nemesis. It is a Wikipedia. Where was it? Fiona Walker. Oh, Anton Differing is the headmaster, and Anton Differing like his whole career was playing Nazis, apparently. Right? That's it. It's all you ever saw him on as a Nazi. So it's just a bit of a runaround at that point when it shows up. And again, the most interesting person is Lady Painful. The denouement's a bit. I mean, denouement's pretty much exactly the same as Remembrance of the Daleks, just not quite as good. So again, this new edition I thought was really, really excellent. I thought the new effects were also very effective. Let's just show you a couple of bits of it. Right? But the cut of it that's the one thing that really genuinely worked. Right? This new cut of it, I thought, was made it watchable. Now, I don't think you could do something like this with Delta and the Bannerman, right? I don't think there's any polishing that turd, right? I do not. Where are we up to? Silver Nemesis. Doink. Let's have a look. I'll work from the Omnibus edition. But yeah, you get so many different editions on this. You get the VHS extended edition, the special edition, the Omnibus is a special edition, the broadcast version. You don't really need all of that. Courtney Pine's in it for some reason, and the Doctor's got a cool pocket watch. They're mysteriously attacked by Nazi forces who are really genuinely quite crap. This is Lady Painful looking for the time when the astral is going to hit back to Earth. And you get this lot of stuff around Windsor where you see a painting of Ace from a future story, right? And I think they kept the Queen in this as well, right? And this is them time jumping. Man, Ace in a bit of Fez action. So they discover that the arrow's missing. And so they nip back in the TARDIS to this. Again, it's Kevin Clark doesn't really know much about Doctor Who, right? Because Doctor Who just didn't use the TARDIS like that way so much. Oh yeah, so this I'm pretty sure wasn't in the original version. So after here, let me see if I can find the thing crashing down. It's so unimpressive, right? It's one of the least impressive explosions I've ever seen. Here we go. I've ever seen in Doctor Who. Yeah, it just didn't really work. So then police turn up, and there's Cybermats turn up, and I love the Cybermen, and also the Cybermen are using agents at the beginning. Oh, they weren't Nazis; they were the Cybermen agents. But I love Cybermen. I can't believe they cut this out. bit of side mat attack. So basically, everybody like kind of meets up at the episode 1 cliffhanger when the Cybermen show up. And Sebastian McCoy is really kind of in his stride as a doctor over there, right? Like he's there's a bit where he like just turns around and starts explaining stuff to Ace, right? Which is like, yeah, and ignoring all the Nazis pointing guns at them. Anyway, so then Cybermen show up, and this is one of the new effects.
A few days.
Like at the castle?
Yes.
Tell.
Here we go. And it's really, this kind of matches my memory of the original. But it's not, this is new effect. And I like the way that they matted the set into the model.
They saved my life.
Don't thank them yet. You might live to regret it.
Yeah, so this story is really nothing about the Cybermen, right? I do like their new guns, though, right? And yeah, there are some like decent stunts going on there. Like here, Sophie and Ace throwing themselves around. Good, decent action. Oh yeah, Lady Painful attacks the Cybermen with gold-tipped arrows, right? Which I thought was pretty darn cool. And again, they're in this run around for to find the to get all bits of the statue and the bow and the arrow together, and so there. At the end, not the end. The Doctor's made a new boombox for Ace, which I thought was kind of cool, like building on from the. When it was blown up in remembrance of the Daleks, right? And so they're trying to work out where the Cybermen are, and this is one of the new effects.
Warships, thousands of them. They were invisible.
Now that's better than the original effect, but I kind of like the original one, right? So so then it wakes up. And the only other thing to really recommend this, which I absolutely loved at the time, and I still like it now, was Sophie Aldred attacking the Cybermen with a catapult and silver coin.
So who'll be next? And who'll be lucky?
Right, so that was... There's a lot of good stuff about this. This is so much better than the transmitted version, right? Because it really just kind of holds together. Whereas the transmitted version didn't at all. So fine. What do you get on this? You get the what do I have down here? So what I do is I rip my discs pretty much as soon as I get them. Yeah, and I got to delete. It just takes up disk space for no real reason because I'm like really genuinely never going to watch some of this stuff. Most of this stuff. Yeah, one sec. I'm gonna go. Where's my Doctor Who folder? There we go, Doctor Who. So you got like the 1988 behind-the-scenes documentary that was made by PBS, and it's not very good, right? It's not very good, and it's very grainy. And here, I'll show you a bit of it, right? Where we get an idea of exactly what it's like, right?
On location in England, join the cast and crew of the long-running science fiction series Doctor Who, rehearsing and recording the 25th anniversary story, Silver Nemesis.
So yeah, it's very good at you've got how good it, but it's all look at Gary Downey.
I've got since I was probably about 7 or 8.
So you got that. You have the special edition, which is good in episodes. I say the omnibus edition is the only one to go to. VHS extended edition, I don't know. I got to delete that. I might even delete the original edition because I don't think if I want to watch it, I'll pull the disc out. I think right. So you also got the making of. They carried that over from the DVD Industrial Action. That's okay, but the drawback is you keep saying how little understanding here that Kevin Clark has of Doctor Who, right? The behind the sofa people are like, well, at least it's not happy. They hated Happiness Patrol. Like they said, at least it's not Happiness Patrol. But again, I know. And also, they would do. You had different groups in behind the sofa. You got Nicola Bryant and Bonnie Langford, which quite a serious wet dream going on there. So that's interesting. Nicola Bryant still freaking hot. Oh my god. Then you got Sarah Sutton, Janet Fielding, and Wendy Padbury, which I thought was a weird combination. Then you got Sylvester and Sylve, and they have a different third person for each story. So they got Mike Hardy in it, who played the Cyber Lieutenant. I'm surprised they didn't get, or they couldn't get David Banks. He would seem to be the person to get, right? But yeah, look, generally speaking, it was not a beloved story on Behind the Sofa. You got open air, and you got points of view, both of which not being entirely complementary to Doctor Who. Wait, neither of these ones are the Chibnall appearance, are they? Let's have a look. Open air from that's the 23rd of November 1988. Who's on? So yeah, Sylvester McCoy. This is just a feature about Doctor Who. They wheeled out. This is not the one with Chris Chibnall. Bit of John Pertwee action. What was he reading there? What book's that? Where was Doctor Who born? Do I have that book? I got that book right over there. 25 Glorious Years. Peter Hadding, right? That's a fun little extra. But I think the main thing on this disc is another Andrew Cartmel, another Matthew Sweet in conversation. This time with Andrew Cartmel, which is it the first? Have they had him been in conversation on another one of these discs? I can't remember. I kind of feel they did. They definitely did with Sophie Aldred. So again, Matthew Sweet's interview. They're excellent, right? They're excellent. They're probably worth the price of entry in of itself. So this is the weakest entry in the season 25 box set. And because they did a very good job, right? They did a very, very, very good job. It's a recommend, right? It really pulls together. There's a longer review recorded with John Nathan Turner. They also have Chris Clough Chris Clough in conversation that was that's in Happiness Patrol. By the way, Happiness Patrol, the special edition that knocks it out the park. It is incredible, right? Absolutely incredible. You got the 2010 making of Doc Wayne, 1988 making of Dobra Niradzik interview. What's that? Oh, so more from the New Jersey network, I think, from PBS. Trails and News, normal stuff. So yeah, look, that they're able to give this one a lick of paint and make it really, really good, I think is just incredible, right? I think it's a really, really incredible feat. So again, season 25 Blu-ray, still a massive recommend, right? Massive recommend. Fine. Let's move forward. What else we got to look at? What's on the thumbnail? 1 second. There you go. That's why I make thumbnails, so I remember what I'm doing. Let's do the deep thoughts of Stephen Moffat, right? Let's do that one next. We could. Well, look. Firstly, here. 1 second. I've got to go over here now. First, that's it. No. Now I'm like scrolling through stuff. Good with them. Fine. So, firstly, it seems like the jig's up, and everybody knows Disney's out, right? Disney is out of Doctor Who, right? Disney is out as of season 3 of Doctor Who. hardly a surprise, really. I mean, but and I think they just haven't announced it because it knows it'll kill season 2. Make season 2 DOA, right? It will not make it. We don't know if there's a third series yet. Season 15 will go out on the summer 2025, and then they'll decide it. The BBC will decide as well its future. But I'm happy to stay with it. I love it. It's more fun than anything else than Rusty Davis. So let's see what it actually says in more detail. Right? Rusty Davis, the full would doubt Doctor Who's future, but admits BBC still is non-committal. Well, I think the BBC is committal, but I think they don't want to do it as a show on their own, right? They don't want to do it just for the local market. And it's a real mistake to think it needs a huge budget. I mean, it needs a good budget, don't be wrong. But like the budget they had in 2010 was fine. Right? So Rusty Davis has reiterated that Doctor Who's immediate future beyond 2025 is uncertain. Is there a 2025 Christmas special? Right? Here's the question. Was the 2023 Christmas special part of the 6th anniversary specials or part of Shooter's first season? I really don't know. The decision to move forward will depend on the network's evaluation following season 15 in 2025. We don't know if there's a third series yet. Series 15 will go out in the summer. I think May, they said, or 2025, and then they'll decide. The BBC will decide, well, what about Disney? Because I'm happy to stay with it. It's more fun than anything else. Again, I'm happy that you're having fun, Russell, but you know, the problem is that we're not, right? The viewing public isn't. And again, because you made it into a queer show. It's a very dumb idea, right? It was a very, very, very dumb idea to do that. And I think it really killed this era, right? But I think that was your driving... It was the driving rationale of this era. Davis also, this is more important, Davis also reflected on the co-production with Disney. Said, it's a lovely experiment, which means it's over, right? We've had a great time, which means it's over. Every single drama you've ever watched on television has American money and co-production in it for about 25 years, so it's actually nothing new. Yeah, Russell, you're spinning, mate. You are spinning. Spinning quite crazily, right? I have to tell you. So, I don't know. I don't think it's coming back. Right? I think War Between the Land and the Sea, and that's it, right? I do think War Between the Land and the Sea. Shooting Council awarded nominations. What nomination did he get? Critics' Choice Award. Yeah, well, it's certainly not going to get the Public's Choice Award, is he? Right? Absolutely not. Doink. Let's look at his SFX magazine interview. Stephen Moffat's. Continue from this page. Is it? There you go. The Joy Bringer. Yeah, he certainly brought joy to Rusty Davis, but give him a bit of a handy. There's your Express and a dinosaur. Last Stephen Moffat. There's more. What more do you want at Christmas? I mean, again, the problem is Ncuti Gatwa. I think they've really got quite a nice frothy Christmassy affair going on, but Ncuti Gatwa is the problem. Right, tragically, right? Like, really, genuinely, tragically. I thought he'll be much better. I thought he will be able to pull off the role. No, he's not. He's not able to do that. Both those feature in the festive wish list of your Santa, blah, 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 blah. Joy the World marks the 9th Doctor Who Christmas special written by Stephen Moffat. Really? 9th one he did. Let me see if I can name them off the top of my head. We got Christmas Carol, still his best. Doctor Widow and the Wardrobe. What else was there? There was Time of the Doctor. I'm sure I'm missing one. Doctor Widow and the Wardrobe, Time of the Doctor. Well, there should only be 3. I mean, was there a 4th one? I can't remember. Oh, hello, Whitey. I just jumped up to say hello. All right, so it's 3 so far. Let's go. Then there'll be the Capaldi one, which was Last Christmas, which is excellent. I really like Last Christmas. Then the Husbands of River song and The Return of Dr. Mysterio. That's 6. And then the one after that was what's it called again? Was Twice Upon a Time, which I thought I liked the one a lot as well. So I'm missing one. And of course, that was 7, and then this is number 9. So which one am I missing? I got the Magic. I got the Caretaker, wasn't it? Doctor William, and isn't the Caretaker a different one? Hellfire. Now I'm looking it up. Doctor Who Christmas specials. Let's have a look. So Christmas Carol, Doctor Who and Waldo, Snowman. There you go, the Snowman. Whoopsie. With the hottest Clara. Absolutely the hottest Clara. Oh, right. Okay, go back over here. Fine. So it's quite a big float on Moffat Tells SFX, where we've got a lot of places in a short amount of time, along for the writer, Derry Girl star Nicola Coughlan as Joy, a woman whose life has been upended when she meets Sooty Gatwa's dazzling doctor. Okay. I mean, she's good in pulling out an emotional response, right, from the viewer. So we'll see. I just wish we had some bloody eye candy. It's really killing me. So it's got your Christmas whimsy in there. So I suppose it leans more to a slightly more humorous end to a degree. Well, you wouldn't say that about most of his Christmas specials. Like Dr. Witham look, Christmas Carol, dark in a lot of ways. Dr. Riddle Wardrobe, kind of crap actually. Snowman also pretty darn dark. Time of the Doctor, pretty darn dark. It's also a bit labyrinthian. Last Christmas, if Clara had been old at the end of one, that would have been dark. Husbands of River song. No, that's just a frothy comedy, as in The Return of Dr. Mysterio. And Twice Upon a Time, pretty darn dark, right? Oh, resolution, piss off. Leave us alone. So there's Christmas in there. I suppose it leans towards a slightly more humorous end, but actually it gets quite emotional. And there's also a fun element that within the context of the wider series, the Doctor has just lost one of his mates. So he's lost Ruby. He didn't. He just left Ruby after her mother was completely unremarkable in every way. So it puts Doctor in a particular place. Is it a place where he cries? You think? Maybe. I think so. It's the Doctor alone, which makes you sound somber. It's not really. The only time that really worked is where After Rose, I think. Whimsical, heartwarming, and emotional, but I don't think it's going to be heartwarming with Ncuti Gatwa. I don't think he can do heartwarming. He's just too annoying. How does it feel to be writing a Doctor Who Christmas special again? It wasn't that I was just bursting with ideas to do another Christmas episode. Russell got in touch and said, could you do Christmas for me? I need to get on to series 2. I was delighted to say that because I was always in love with doing the Christmas ones. Really, that never really seemed to be the case there. I have to tell you, it never really seemed to be the case. I've been talking for a few years about doing a sort of door-flapping French farce, the Doctor Who style, and I've never done it. Russell said, well, why don't you do that for Christmas? And there's an element in there of an element of doors and running in confusion. And again, I think with Matt Smith, that will probably work. Well, not very much, because I think it's what you did at Christmas. People will say, oh, I was hoping for a proper one. It's the only episode you're going to get for months, and it's going to have more size and more scale. I'm not sure. Again, I think the rate of this is going to be better than last year. Like Sandwich Routine, Wallace and Gromit, and Strictly Come Dancing. I won't do it sometime in the future, obviously, but that's what it is now. So what are we going to get? Well, here's a pitch. Here's the pitch that got me the job. In just about every hotel room there's a locked door. It's weird, but there always is. Okay, So we blow apart. Okay, fine. This is a time hotel. All those doors are open to different timey-wimey stuff. That seemed like kind of a crap idea, I have to tell you, when I first heard it. But like, I don't know. Could work, right? Could work. Have an opportunity to sell the rooms that they failed to sell the last time. So they built an extension into a more or less every hotel room in history, and you get access to it occasionally. I mean, it's kind of a fun idea, but I don't know, I think you probably wouldn't notice it beforehand. When the room is not booked in what's called a contemporaneous booking, somebody from the future can go and stay there, and you can sell walking tours of the Blitz with a handy map. And as the doctor said, this finally explains why there was no room at the inn. I don't know. Yeah, that seems a bit sacrilegious to me. And again, I'm kind of Jewish. I don't know how devout Christians would feel about that. Right? Maybe they'll laugh. Maybe they'll think it's fun. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, fine. So we know the premise, right? So the doctor lands in the time hotel, and he gets involved in an adventure there because evil forces are about to put it to terrible use. I actually got so obsessed with the premise that I wrote half the script and realized I'd done nothing but make jokes about the time hotel. He is kind of like trapped into this. This idea. He's very much in love with this idea, which it's not the weakest thing about this. The weakest thing about the shooting outward, but it's not the strongest idea. Maybe it'd be good, but it doesn't seem to be the strongest idea. Those doors are terrifying, especially at 3 in the morning when you wake up and think, could someone actually walk into the room at this point? Well, there are like secret doors into rooms to kidnap children. Apparently, that's terrifying. Let's see if I can find a video of that. All right, I mean that's a real thing. Hotel secret door. For child trafficking or something. Do I find it? No. I saw this. I'll try trafficking. Let's say trafficking. See if that comes up. Nothing. Although I did see it on Twitter, I think. Is this it? Have some people breaking in. Because it really was disturbing. It was like in the back of a closet. There was a... Oh, is this it? Yeah. Let me download that. Yeah. So, yeah, this is like a real thing, which I find, quite disturbing. When is season 15 coming out proper? I think it's May, right? I think it's supposed to be May.
Indoor Fountain Hotel.
This is the one I thought. This is another one. Now, check this out. The music's annoying. Could you imagine you leave your kids in the hotel room and they get kidnapped from there? All right? And then there's, that door there. It's like where, okay, and your kids are taken to being sex trafficked. Oh, yeah. Very disturbing, right? Very disturbing. So that's the real thing. So I can understand why you find those doors disturbing. But that's what's going on a lot of the times. Yes, why is it somebody else's decision that it's locked? Why is it not mine? It's my bloody room. I don't have the key to it. That's with the time hotel. Well, the real reason is a bit darker. The story zips around times and places, again, which I think is a very good idea. The story zips around time and places in the way only Doctor Who can really do. Have you missed that kind of storytelling, being away for the show for so many years? I must have, but then boom, I stuck him in a crater. Honestly, the volume war they used for that episode, I thought was not that great. Right? I don't think it worked very well at all. Boom. I told it in absolutely linear order, practically in real time. But yes, it's a thing you can do. Where I don't know why they spend so much money on Boom. Right? That seems like something you could really just do cheaply, and they really should have done it cheaply. But yes, it's a thing you can do when you're playing with Doctor Who as epic, big, splashy Christmas Day spectacular. That's a good thing to do. On those occasions, for the first episodes of finales and Christmas episodes, you want to splash around a bit. Moffat had a very good point. Like, why do they save up the bigger stuff for the finale? Why not do that for the opener? Right? Which actually makes a lot of sense to me. We actually got lost. We actually lost a whole location. We lost the ancient Egypt and pyramids for one scene. We've got Everest back, and people don't get involved in Doctor Who at the production level in order to do a chamber piece. They I literally just watched Horror Fang Rock Part 4, and that's essentially what it was. It was a chamber piece, right? It was that little quiet conversation that the Doctor has with the Ruton, right? I thought it was fabulous, right? Well, again, it was Tom Baker. What would you expect? That's actually what they want to be stretched. So on the first draft, I always push it as far as I can, and I've been rather astonished at how close we come up with to what I first came up with. How does joy enter the story? Well, I think here's the thing: fat girls are somehow in the queer Venn diagram, right? So that's how she enters the story, because it's like adjacent to being queer. Joy is someone who's not in a good place in her life. Well, she seems like she's in a bad place, but she's a sort of person where how sad they are because they smile so much. She's putting on a brave face of things. She's actually profoundly miserable for reasons. Well, I hope things work out okay. That emergent story go along. Well, that's actually, a great backbone for a story, right? Because you need to have something like transformative. Honestly, what is it? I mean, what do we all love about Scrooge? It's at the end where he's like, I'm light as a feather. You boy, go and get the biggest turkey. I like that bit. I like that bit in the Muppet Christmas Carol with when Michael Caine becomes nice. All right, it's because the Doctor can come along and have an impact on life. Yeah, that's the problem I have. Judy Gatwood doesn't look like you'll have an impact on a positive impact. What does Nicola Coughlan bring to the role? Well, I guess star power a little bit. She brings a smile apart from everything else. She's got a good line in smiling. Okay. We read about the Sherlock Holmes. They said basically this column saying, yeah, they would do another Sherlock Holmes, but they got to get everybody together. But they really must. Or Sherlock, I should say. Which is rather. She brings a great charm, tremendously sympathetic. Whatever happens, whatever she does, you're going to be on her side. Yes, that is true, right? I think that's probably why it was good casting. Well, couldn't she be like Ruby's, Ruby giving her a makeover to make her look hot or something? Maybe. Is there a particular pleasure in writing one-off companions? Somehow, it always feels like we're slightly spying in on the Doctor with him in between companions. Well, I don't feel that way. I think because you have a weird sense that the show isn't really about the Doctor. It really is. It's about whoever he meets. Doctor Who does not begin with him stealing a TARDIS and running away. It begins with the school choosers following home Susan and... that's a good point you're making. When it begins in 2005, it begins with Rose trying to find out who he is. But that's the thing. The Doctor... Okay, you're making a good point. A Doctor really should be a constant. And I don't think Ncuti Gatwa is. I don't think he is the Doctor, right? I don't think he's got those traits. The moment where there isn't a companion in situ, you start thinking, there he is, alone in the TARDIS. Maybe he's having a good cry. I would have thought probably having a good cry. Probably. We do go through a bit of that in one scene as to what he actually goes on in the weird man's head when he's got no one to be the Doctor for. It worked very well with David Tennant when he started like which one was it? Maybe Runaway Bride, right? When he's explaining something. No, it's Smith and Jones, right? Not Smith and Jones. It's maybe it was Smith and Jones. It was one of those ones where he's talking to himself, like he's talking to a companion, right? It pulls out TARDIS to show him like very alone. I thought that really worked, right? I reckon the shooter's got Doctor, or simply writing the Doctor with the confidence shooter will bring himself to it. Well, I don't know where that confidence comes from. 90% of the writing of the Doctor, if you're writing the Doctor too different there, then people wouldn't think of it as a Doctor. Yes, that's where we are. Yes, we don't think of a Doctor. There's an awful lot of character that remains pretty much exactly the same, except now he's a gay fuck bunny. Right? That's a big change, right? Oh, what's the difference? He's just a gay fuck bunny. Yes, the Doctor isn't a gay fuck bunny, right? Yes, that's basically true. And you write him as a gay fuck bunny, he doesn't come over as a Doctor. So there's an awful lot of character that remains pretty much exactly the same and has done for a very long while. But you accommodate the fact that sometimes he's older, sometimes he's younger, sometimes he's grumpy, sometimes more cheerful. And I can't really stand the whole thing is, oh, this is why you don't have any friends because you're just mysterious. I really didn't like that. Yeah, let's pull up that trailer for a second. Yeah, where is it? Yeah, wait.
It's this Christmas.
Is it? Again, I thought this was a good trailer, but again, he's just so annoying.
Is toasty and a pumpkin latte?
Who are you?
Wrong room. We are on a top.
I'm just trying to find the scene of him crying in the TARDIS. Because, and again, look, this is what they really should have leaned into, right? The physicality of the role. Don't try making him into a, somebody who could talk down baddies, because he can't, right? The physicality he's very good at, right? Him running across those roofs on Church and Road was very good, but here it is.
How do I get to be you? You'll find out.
And his voice is awful. Oh, God, how do I get to be you? Why can't you, maybe do a bit of an accent? I'm just trying to find where he's crying. I think that's all we see from from Millie Gibson. Like this character. There you go. So this, I guarantee you, is the moment after she leaves and she's like, oh, God. Listen, I was sad too, darling. I was sad too. Where am I up to? So he's usually all those things, but I don't think writing the Doctor is massively different. There are terms and phrases that suddenly you find yourself using because it's coming out of a different mouth. I hate him using the word honey. I hate it. But for the most part, you write the Doctor and he plays it, but he doesn't. And that's the problem. But in the remaining 10%, there are flavors of Ncuti brings to the role that you are there flavors? Are there flavors that Ncuti brings to the role that you are keen to explore? Yes, I wanted to see him suck some more dick, right? Or possibly push him into new areas. No. I was keen to see him go mean. Again, yeah, not dealing with somebody with much of an acting range, right? Which is this was his little bickering bit here in the TARDIS with himself. Okay, doink.
It's this Christmas.
Where is he talking to himself?
You'll find out. What do I do? Where do I go? We'll find out. Oh, do you see? You have to be mysterious all the time. That's why everyone leaves you. That is why you were always alone.
Yeah. I think that's him going mean. Who cares? I also think for some point there's an ancient beast that's got a snarl, or you don't think it's him underneath. Yeah, but he's not good at pulling this off. He's very good at pulling Russell off. He does that a lot, I think. Underneath whatever set of flourishes and fripperies he's currently sporting, he's still the same bloke, which is quite dangerous. He can be bracing, unsentimental when he wants to be, but he can't be convincing as a doctor when he wants to be. That's essentially the problem. When you were show running, you were very much aware that Doctor Who was facing some big changes in the way that people actually watch television. That's not the problem. The problem is that it's not very good, right? It's not the problem with the way people are watching television differently, right? The idea of making TikTok Doctor Who in this way was actually not a bad idea, right? But they did it badly. They should have done, your 8-episode season, and then you should take one episode, right, and do it on a lower budget, and do it in 3-minute segments for social media channels, right, and build it for that rather than try and use it for both, right? That would have actually done the job they want to do, bring people in from social media, right? You saw the future coming, and now those changes have only accelerated. What are the challenges for Doctor Who's future now? Shooty fucking Gatwa, shortly followed by Russell T. Bloody Davis, right? That's the biggest problem, right? Yeah, it really is. I was only trying to go back in the day when you can explain to people that can't run the rating number the way you used to, right? Yeah, but you know what? It does give you a rough indication of how much in the shit you are, and boy, you're in the shit. The fact that people will binge watch it properly 3 or 4 months later means you don't get that gorgeous number of to hold up and say, look how successful it is. No, you would do if it was successful, right? Stop with this bullshit excuse. And that's what this is. This is a bullshit excuse, right? It's still hugely successful, but you have to batter through all that nonsense. No, it's not hugely successful. I'm sorry. By every metric, it's a failure. It had absolutely no impact on social media, right? It wasn't trending. Nobody cared about Shooty Gatwa. Nobody was excited to see it. It failed, right? It failed by every freaking metric possible. Stop kidding yourself. I think he's just lying. I don't think he's kidding himself. I just think he's lying, right? I think this is like what you do when you have a failing TV show. You lie, right? Yeah, TV executives often lie. I'm sorry, but established in canon that Time Lord will not Time Lord meeting his future self will not remember what happened. Canon's gone. Canon has gone since Jodie, right? This is why I say none of this is Doctor Who. As Colin Archer said that. Russell has to do all that nonsense, but it's rubbish. Now, excuse me. When things are successful, they're successful. This isn't successful. I don't know. Russell has to do all that nonsense, but it's rubbish, especially when a show with smaller ratings than Doctor Who is being heralded as a hit. It really gets them like, well, what's a hit? Explain to me what's a hit with smaller ratings. Another challenge is how serialized modern television has become. Even when I was doing the Doctor Who, most shows were a story of the week, really. But I think it's a complex serial now. Mistake. Jed McCura's entire career is built around complex serials with no what? No concession to the fact that you haven't watched the previous episodes. Yeah, look, okay, serials, I understand, but it's a mistake to do that for Doctor Who. The people who did that best are season 25, when they had like themes going on in the background. They're just expecting you to keep up and make notes in a sort of new, which is sort of TV, which is sort of new. Yeah, people do binge watch, but like, beginning, middle, and end. That's what you need in a story: a beginning, middle, and end, even if it's serialized, right? TV shows treat themselves like big novels, which is a good way for them to go. No, it shouldn't be every show treats themselves like that. You should. I kind of miss the episodics. I miss the 22 episode season a year episodic American TV. Right? I thought that was actually you got some gold out of that quite a lot, quite often. There's a lot about nonsense like Rivals. It's a serial, but Doctor Who used to be a serial back in the day. Not really. All right, it was a series of serials. Okay, but nonetheless, almost every single episode ended with a cliffhanger. When we brought it back, we moved it to what was then the more current version with the different story of the week, and the cliffhanger was replaced by the pre-title sequence, right? That had the same function, right? As you entered that pre-title sequence, you got like that. That's how you got like the Doctor Who howl, like, that thing. What does it do now? Should it be more serialized again? That's one thing I keep thinking about. It's not my business to think about these things. I should keep my trap shut. But I do keep thinking that this is the show that does cliffhangers better than anyone else. Are we missing out on something we did? And again, I hate to say this, Chris Chibnall's cliffhangers in Flux were freaking excellent, right? The resolutions were awful, but the cliffhangers were very good. I'm confident Doctor Who will adapt to these changes, not under the current production team. I think it's about to be cancelled, right? I really think it's about to be cancelled. It's perfectly evolved Predator, and it hasn't evolved into its final form. It just carries on and becomes yet again a modern television show. Yes, of course, it will adapt. It will have. I have absolute confidence that it will just carry on. I hope it does, right? I hope this era just ends and then somebody resurrects it somehow, right? And it comes back to being Doctor Who again, right? If it does that, I think it'll probably do quite well. Or I think Ncuti Gatwa and Jodie Whittaker and David Tennant, to a great extent, have really damaged the brand over the last few years, right? I think done a particularly bad job. And the new show is ancient. We call it a new show, but from next year it'll be 20 years old, and we're already 19 years of modern Doctor Who sitting there on the iPlayer. That's another challenge that Doctor Who has, of course, which it never had before. The show has all of its past readily available on your iPhone whenever you want it. I know I've had that for years. I like that a lot. It seems ludicrous when the modern Doctor Who sits there with all these new shows. It looks like a bunch of megastars in it. You forget that Matt Smith wasn't a megastar when he became the Doctor. It made him megastar, right? In a bizarre way, Doctor Who competes with itself now, but not just like everything does, right? Everything current competes with the earlier versions of it. Most people only watch stuff that have been that were made prior to 2015 on streaming services. All right. I mean, there's just excuses. Now, is he being honest, or is he telling these excuses to himself? I really can't tell. I would honestly say excellent Doctor Who is just sitting there. If you're bored of that, you've got 26 years of the classic series on the shelf. But if you're complaining about being the victim of your own enormous success, you could point to the words enormous success. Other shows don't have that problem. I just wish Ncuti Gatwa would go. Right? I just wish Ncuti Gatwa would go. Joel Fry's in it. I do like Joel Fry. He's pretty much great in everything. I don't know. I just like, they were so charmed by him. Right? I just don't find him charming. Right? I just find him irritating, which is a problem, right? No, so the show has to adapt to its audience this time, or go back to adapting to its audience, right? Well, the BBC just have their heads up their asses, right? They just, generally speaking, do. Like I don't know, I wouldn't trust the BBC to organize a piss up in a brewery, right? They are just absolute freaking failures. Look at that! I wanted this to end earlier. I failed. I failed. I guess that's it. We're not doing Blake 7 tonight. I am I said it. Green Cracker, darling. Green Cracker. Time to climb the wooden hill to Bedfordshire. Fine. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to wrap up. I'm going to hit the end broadcast button. I'm going to hit it again. Say good night. Good luck.